Hey, fellow Schneider drivers, Friendly Bill coming at you. I am waiting in line to fuel. So, as you know, Schneider drivers, we are silly busy all the time. So, I can only make videos when I'm parked because that's the safe thing to do. And even then, it's hard for me to make time because I'm either exhausted, talking to my kids, doing paperwork, planning my trip, and all these other things. So it's hard for me to actually get time. But anyway, I'm in line here to get fuel. I'd like to give a shout out to a fellow Schneider driver. She is fairly new. She's been at it for 2 months, and I think I know her YouTube name is Ratlay It Down. Ratlay It Down. RATTLAYITDOWN. Anyway, I like her videos because she's going through it right now. She's going through it and she tells what's going on, and it's not all peaches and cream. So I just want to give a shout out to her. She gave me an idea for a video, impossible dispatches. Okay, once again, I am just a Schneider driver. I do not represent the company. I represent myself, who happens to be a Schneider driver. So if I'm mistaken about anything, please leave a comment. Straighten me out. You know, I don't claim to be a wizard of trucking or anything. I'm just a driver. So, you know, I'm learning things too. But impossible dispatch. So as far as I understand, Schneider utilizes some software to help plan loads. And as far as I understand, it's a fairly simple piece of software that calculates how many hours you have, how many miles the load is, and then suggests, I guess, to the actual planner whether this load should go or not. I don't know exactly all the dynamics of how that's done, but I know they use software. I think a human being has the final call, but I don't know how much they look into the load to see. But what's happening, or what's happened to me, I should say, is that I'm given a load, and on paper it looks great. You know, on paper, okay, you got 500 miles to go. You have 10 hours. Bang, you can make it, and I get the load. Well, sometimes what happens is, well, here's an example. Say I have to pick up an empty first. Okay, I go to the location, and either there's no empty, or the empties are damaged, or even some cases there's a bunch of stuff in the empty that's supposed to be empty, so there's no empty. So then I have to request an empty, wait, finally get that new empty assignment. That could take half an hour, sometimes more. Okay, then I have to go to a different location. Maybe I have to wait in line to get into the place. Maybe there's a trucks lined up. That could take a half an hour. Then I go and I finally get my empty, and okay, now I got my empty. Now I got to go to the location, the shipper. Okay, I have to sit in line again to get into the shipper. That could be another half hour. Okay, you get into the shipper. Okay, you drop off your empty, but guess what? There's no spots. It's really crowded, so there's no place to drop it. So you're driving around looking to drop an empty. Okay, you haven't even picked up your load yet, and you may have already spent 3 hours running around. Okay, you finally find a place to drop it, then you find you're loaded, but guess what? It's really heavy. It has to be scaled. So you finally get out of there. You have to go to the nearest scale. That takes time. It's really heavy, so you have to do a lot of sliding of the tandems. That's time. Okay, and now finally you got it scaled. Oh, you also have to fuel because you're running low on fuel, and there's a line to get fuel. Okay, I think you get what I'm going at. The software does not calculate any of that. It calculates best case scenario. Can you make it? Yes, go. Okay, it doesn't calculate all those things. It doesn't calculate weather, or road construction, or busy shippers or receivers, or maybe you have a live load in the morning and it takes them 5 hours to unload. It doesn't calculate any of this. So it's a best case scenario setup. So what can we as Schneider drivers do? Well, first and foremost, understand that this happens, okay? You're not the only one that this is happening to. Schneider doesn't have it out for you. They don't hate your guts. They're not torturing you on purpose. They are planning for the best case scenario. And what can we as Schneider drivers do? Well, as I always do, I do my best. Okay, I do my best, and I don't lollygag. When I start my clock, I do not lollygag. That's me. So I do my best, and if I run into problems, I call and let Schneider know as soon as possible. You want to, if you have a problem or you think you're going to have a problem, you want to make sure and call before everybody goes home, because you don't want to have to wait on overnight services. So if you have any clue that you may be having an issue, call Schneider and say, hey, I've done it myself. Hey, this appointment's really tight. I don't know if I'm going to make it or not. I don't know for sure if I'm going to make it or not. And, then we go back and forth and so when in doubt, I call Schneider and let them know when in doubt. So I know it's a pain in the butt to have to call, and especially if it happens over and over again, it's a pain in the butt. I get it. But, if you call and talk to somebody, it takes the responsibility off of you, because they'll say, oh, why didn't you call? You should have called. And even when I call, they say, oh, you should have called earlier. And I say, well, I didn't know, I couldn't plan. I didn't know what was happening and all this. So I got to cut it short because I'm getting fuel. Later.